Hello and welcome to Art from the Heart channel, which I have started. I'm Nagesh Rao Sardesai, and I'm intending to talk to different artists from Goa first, then India, and then probably globe. So right now we are going through a very unprecedented times of COVID-19 scare, coronavirus scare, which has gripped the whole world. In fact, it has been very democratic and liberal, not sparing anyone. So it has included the rich, the poor, the developed, the underdeveloped, and every individual country and every individual. And it has not spared even the leaders of the country. So this scare is really going to change the whole world. It has already done that. And the Indian government in particular has taken a very bold stand of something called lockdown on March 22nd. And then again, it started on March 25th, which has been for a very long time now. And this lockdown has been appreciated by the world around, leaders and people around. And this lockdown is something that has actually kept us away from each other. Basically, social distancing was not required at all because this lockdown has actually put us in a cage where we cannot meet even each other. So it is for our own good, of course, and we have really seen some results in India. But any which way, this is a scary situation. But in that sense, India is far blessed. Goa is still more blessed. And this lockdown, which has actually kept us inside, but it is a boon and a bane. It's a bane, of course, for everyone, but a boon for most of the artists because artists are habituated to sitting in their studios and doing work. In this case, they are forced to do it now. And so instead of working for 8 or 9 hours now, they are working for 24 hours. So this has also given chance for them to create something new, probably sit and think of something innovative rather than just doing what they're doing, and probably think of something new ideas because there are material crunches which you don't get because of lack of supply. So this series which I'm trying to start, and this is the inaugural episode of something called Lockdown series. And for the inaugural one, I thought of inviting one of my very close friends who was my college mate. In fact, he was my junior in college, but he's far more senior in terms of talent, and I respect his talent. More than an artist, is more of an intellectual. He is a person who is interested in biology, he is interested in medicine, he is interested in astronomy, and deeply knowledgeable about all these things. He's also interested in history, he's interested in culture, he's interested in social life. Of course, he's non-political, so he's not interested in politics. But the point is, he's interested in most of the subjects that I like, and some of the subjects that I like, but I don't understand a shit about it. So he's none other than a very close friend of mine. He's Vijay Bhandare from Cortalim. We call him Vijay Bhandare. Welcome, Vijay.
Yes, thank you.
Vijay, how do you feel? I mean, I know this is lockdown, but how do you feel being the chief guest of my lockdown series?
I'm really privileged and honored to be on this show, Nagesh Wow. And of course, as you rightly said, the lockdown, though most of the time artists are confined in their studios, no doubt about it. But this lockdown period has really given us a little boost to our creativity. Even though our movement is restricted, we are alienated from the outer world. But finally, what we have to do is life goes on. So what we do is spend more time in front of our canvases or in front of a mode of expression. It could be printmaking, it could be drawing, it could be anything apart from the basic mode of expression. These days I do lots of printmaking stuff. I prepare lots of printmaking blocks like woodcut blocks and cut. And apart from that, I do drawings. So usually what I used to do is I used to divide my time into two phases. One is for family, the morning part, because I have to drop my daughter to school and pick her up. Then a little bit of household work like fetching grocery and other things like that. And the remaining half of the day, what I used to do is either I used to visit my studio, which is just next to my house, and utilize the time for my art. Or I just used to take a stroll in my village, which I often used to do earlier. But that particular part is a little
But
it's taken a backseat these days because of lockdown. So that is what I'm really missing of my village. Of course, there's nothing much left about our childhood memories. Even though I have a lot of memories in my village, and I really love it. It's something to ponder about. The whatever little what I can call it, some rampant of childhood memories. So what I used to do is to meet some of my old friends, and the evening time, the banter, village banter, know the good and bad of village life, what was happening.
Because
Of course, we can get all these things on WhatsApp and other social media these days, but the personal connection was lacking. So that is what I always tend to do. Visit my friends at least once or twice a week, and sit across. That's how I develop the human touch, maintain the human touch. But that part has taken a little bit of backseat because of lockdown. But anyway, life goes on, as I said earlier. I devote more time towards art, and apart from that, I picked up my guitar again. I just started strumming my rock, a little bit of jazz, a little bit of rock, and just sing some good catchy songs, some soulful music. And that's how I spend my days till the lockdown gets over, or
great,
little
great,
settles down.
great. So you're not worried about it anymore because you have some other ways of carrying on. But how do you
Yes, yes, life. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
how do you see this? This is a very unprecedented time. In fact, we are nearly touching 50. You are slightly less than me. But
Yes.
we have not seen this sort of scare or this sort of lockdown stuff, everything. How do you see this as a human being, not as an artist? How do you see this whole thing happening now, putting us
Yeah,
into sort of a karmic comeback? How do you feel about it?
it is. It is. I fully agree with you. It is again a karmic fallout again. So if you go through history of human civilization, the written history or the documented event, instead of a pandemic happened about 1,500 years ago, about 1.5 crores, almost more than that, people perished. Then there's something called a black plague. Then there was a black death, yeah, Italian plague, where there was something called a nice concept. Recently, I did a drawing uh, of a plague doctor wearing a mask and
Mhm.
a very odd looking mask with a beak
Yeah,
and
right,
other
right,
things
right.
like that. So it happened. I think it is just nature is telling us, Baba, time to slow down. You all
That's,
have done enough. Now it's time to pay back with my own coin.
that's
And what has happened is we are keeping on growing. We keep on growing. We will be something which we are really try to conquer the sky. And nature has given us something which we can't even see. Even the modern microscope cannot see. It has to go through lots of process to get the correct image of the virus. And that has really shaken our roots today.
right, right.
Even though what I can say is at least at this stage we are in 21st century, and what I was talking about is 1,500 years ago. That time there was less medical technology. Today we are at the almost on the verge of communicating with some extraterrestrial beings.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
at that point of time, we are experiencing the mighty nation like America, who are spending millions of dollars trying to establish contact with other worlds, is shaken by my
Unseen,
uh,
unseen.
a being which is in not even in millimeters of, it is in nano,
Yeah,
like I would
yeah, yeah,
sum
yeah.
it as
Invisible,
microscopic,
invisible,
something
invisible.
invisible. Yeah, so NASA is spending crores of money just to see whether there are some
Yeah, yeah.
extraterrestrial
Yes,
life, and one small life on Earth has really
yeah.
beyond us apart.
That's
So
true.
that's life,
That's true.
We have to take it. We have to take it. So it is not that we cannot destroy. We kept on destroying nature.
That's true. That's true.
Okay. Now, even virus is part of nature,
That's
whether it is man-made or whether it has been genetically modified version. Let's keep it aside.
yeah.
But finally, it's a part of nature. We have
That's
to accept it. So nature is giving us, nature has taken us on a drive, which we are really, what you call that,
Shaken up,
shaken
shaken
to
up.
our roots,
Yeah,
shaken up to this.
yeah, yeah. We have a whole foundation that we are the rulers of the whole globe has been shaken up. In
Yeah,
fact, yeah. So
no,
we
we
have
have
been
to be grounded now.
yeah we
This
have
this has taught us a very good lesson
that's true.
that in the entire universe
Yeah,
we are nowhere. We are
exactly.
nowhere. Even though we say we are the best generation,
Mm.
we are at the pinnacle of our
Yeah, species.
success. We are pinnacle of this and that. Nowhere. We are not even from
Capable of saving
exist in the
ourselves. Yeah,
microcosmic world also.
that's true. That's true. So now coming back to moving away from Corona, we'll come back to Corona again, of
Yes.
course. But moving away from that, I would like to ask you, how did art begin to you? You know, how did art happen to you in school, in preschool, school, and how do you think of being an artist? But start with what made you interested in art?
Uh, okay. See, art always flowed in a raktan असं म्हणतात, how we say it in Konkani.
Hmm.
Uh, over this, I belong to a family where most of our ancestors were either artists, architects, and this. And I'm very proud to say that my great grandfather, late Shri Vishwambar Sinai Kankro, was one of the
Maternal,
pioneers,
yeah.
yeah, maternal grandfather, to design city of Panjim and most of the roads in Goa
Hmm.
during Portuguese time. He was really one of the honored
Yeah, yeah.
architects or civil engineers at the time.
Planners.
Planners, yeah, city planner or town
Yeah,
country planner,
yeah.
basically. So we have this lineage of art and architecture in our family, and since my father, being an artist, so I saw him painting after we deviated from his profession because of lots of financial constraints and other things. So he deviated towards business. But I saw him painting and other things. But somehow I never took art seriously. It was something of passion which I really is growing, and something which hits me regularly. And that is how I picked up the basics of art. I always wanted to be a doctor, or to
Oh,
be a
wow.
pathologist or a surgeon. Yeah.
That's how you interest in
And
anatomy and all.
yes, anatomy, exactly. So that is how. But what happened? My sister Usha wanted to be an artist,
Mhm.
and she attempted the entrance long back when art college was in Nirama. She even got the admission there, but for some reason she
Proceed.
didn't join the college, and she pursued her career as a she joined commerce and wanted to pursue a career as a chartered accountant.
Oh,
But way back in 90s, when joining medicine, my dream was almost shattered because of percentage.
mm,
I was felt very badly intense. So joining science for itself was a distant stream. Forget about medical college. Even taking admission in science college
that's nice that you
almost
admit it.
was a wild goose chase at
Yeah,
that point.
yeah.
But somehow I managed to get, but was really not interested in joining commerce. So that wasn't my cup of tea. But what to do? Had to join. But still, that inclination towards art, no, not towards medicine. Of course, now it is a way of art. But still, I had that this thing, the inclination towards drawing and other things. Again, after seeing me drawing, my sister regenerated the interest in joining art. So I was traveling to Panjim, and one of my neighbors was interested in joining art again. So what he told me, can you get me a prospectus from art college? I said, okay, that's fine. So I was, in any case, I was traveling to Panjim. So I went to Altinho. And after seeing that massive college, so I said, wow, something really good. So I bought a prospectus to my sister and one to my friend. And I said, why not buy one more prospectus? So that I managed to buy one more. So my sister again failed, but she never submitted the form.
Form.
But I filled one because my friend wanted company to join to go for the aptitude test. In any case, I was trying for shipbuilding
Yeah.
in that period, and shipbuilding and production engineering. Then I realized both subjects require math, and my math was just next
Great.
to the At that point, I realized joining shipbuilding, I don't want to create another tragedy like Titanic. Okay, so if I become a shipbuilder, then world might experience one more tragedy.
Titanic.
So better let's do some mercy on some good souls who would be traveling in a boat designed by me. So I backed out from shipbuilding. Now what next? In the meantime, the dates were announced for aptitude test in art college. And at that point, I went just to give company to my friend, my neighbor. Uh, so there were some things very interesting there. Some objects were placed in front of me. Since I had liking towards drawing, and I managed to uh, to to draw them. And luckily, my name was selected. My friend joined. I said, oh, now what to do? Uh, Art college now I got through, and my name is there in the merit list.
Your
And
friend also got through.
also,
Your friend also got through.
yes, yeah, my friend also got through. Okay, I said now it's got a very good company. My childhood friend is also there in art college. I said, okay, so let's continue with art college only. Now keep this engineering other things apart. Well, of course, I do have this very high respect for engineers. But because of math, I never bothered to join engineering. To be very frank enough. Otherwise, I'm still having technical mind. And then I realized one thing in art college. That art college requires medicine also, the anatomy. So certain part requires engineering also, and of course the architecture also.
Both your interests were
And
there.
then I realized it is mother of all professions. So why not continue in art college? And that is how really devoted my went to full swing with all the activities in art college. Like studying human features, especially. That was my passion, and because of that, I redeveloped interest in human anatomy.
Mhm.
So I had a friend who was studying in GMC that time. So he used to give me hooks and skulls and all human skeleton to study. And I used to do lots of charcoal drawing and pencil drawing to study the basics of human structure, the bone structure and other things. And that is how I developed my sense of drawing from the basic understanding of human anatomy. And medicine also, even though I didn't join, of course, for so many reasons. But the passion is still there in me and use medicine. Of course, I know less of art and more of medicine today. So whenever even though the post, if I come across any good post on Facebook on medicine, I prefer reading or going through that entire post.
Oh.
If at all it's something to do with art also, I may skip certain part and I said, okay, let's do it later. No, but still that thing is, I never say that it is dead in me. It is still alive. It's still alive. Everyone should have that attitude. Never kill your dream. Keep it alive somewhere. Doesn't matter when it is in moribund state, fine. But see that you water it, you see that something. At one fine day you may use it.
Nurture it.
Yeah. So never kill your dream. That's the punchline of it. Never kill your dream.
So how you got into art? It was an accidental stuff, sort of destiny.
Yes,
Destiny.
It is
And again, and again, destiny was working for you because all the love of your all the subjects that you loved were there in art. Medicine was there, there was anatomy, architecture was there, which is related to your maternal grandfather. Again, everything was there. So you got into something that God said, okay, fine. Or divine force said, okay, fine, you have to be here because you are getting everything here. You can say that, right?
A package.
Great package, yeah. So how was your life as an art student, and how is your life now as a professional? Why I'm saying this is because
as an art student,
yeah. Why I'm saying this is because I believe when we started, you are almost the same age as me. when we started, art
Yes,
was something that was not so lucrative profession to be picked
correct.
up. It was in 1990s.
Yes,
So it picked up later on when all these big contemporary artists that we are seeing today have became big
yeah,
names in India at least.
very much.
So how
Very
did
much.
what was that transition from being a student in Goa College of Art, where you are probably living off your father or parents, and then moving out and being a professional? How was that transition?
See, initially when I joined art college, even though I had inclination towards art, but initially there were lots of teaching problems I faced. Um, it is said that every mighty king once crowd.
Mhm.
So I was crawling, literally crawling. So I had lots of difficulties. Because even though I studied human anatomy, but I had to literally struggle understanding it in art college the way they wanted. Because my understanding was different, and their understanding was different. They what they wanted was the basic structure and the division of light and shade. Whereas I believed more in detailing. But finally, if I want to draw a face, I cannot draw a skeleton and call it a face. Finally, the facial expressions, the superficial anatomical structure, like the mustaches, the nose, the eyes, the expressions, the gesticulations, really counted. For that matter, it was really a little bit difficult time for me. So much so, my art teacher also told me, "Well, this is not art is not meant for you.
Mhm.
Better think over some other profession." They
Mhm.
even summoned my parents, and they tried to convince whether this person is going to be a big time failure in this field. You better, as a good teacher, we are advising you that you all think of some other profession for your child,
Mhm.
so that his life is salvaged
Mhm.
somewhere. So I was a little bit depressed. What am I going to do now? Of course, way back in 90s, as you said, we have very limited access to time. So what am I going to do now? Joining medicine, joining science, dream is gone. It's
Yeah.
totally gone. Joining engineering again is gone because of math. So what next? So nothing is like. At that point, I really appreciate when I told this to my father. So this is the thing, and I really can't draw today. Even though I could draw, but something which was not acceptable
Mm.
by the
Yes.
certain standards which
Mm.
art college maintained. I said, fine, if you can't draw. So it was little shaky. Why can't you draw? So during after our first year exam, we had a pretty long break,
Mm.
almost of 2 months. In those 2 months, my father um actually taught me the basics of art.
Oh.
It taught me the way it was taught in GJ College of Art.
Mhm.
So same way, it made me practice. It kept such as the gestures, the expressions. And that time was he traveled to Mumbai and he bought me a nice book, The Anatomy and Drawing by Victor Parrot. It's a
Mhm.
Bible of
Yeah. Yeah.
anatomy. It's been referred by all these big names in Western
That
art
is
and
true.
Indian art also. Victor Parrot. So he bought this book for me. And he made one day, one entire sketchbook comprising of about 25 pages. Have to fill with only one.
Mhm.
Either it is eye movement or only eye movement, only nose, only lip. Got it in different angles.
Mhm.
And that is how I managed to get the drawing correct. And second year there was no looking back. So that is how then things started falling into place. Till my final year. I took portraiture as one of the weakness subjects. And even I was so much so that I received Cameron Award for my portrait also in final year.
Oh.
And a merit certificate.
Mm. Right.
And I was awarded a fellowship after my graduation.
Mm.
But I actually gifted it to another colleague of mine because she wanted it badly. I said, in any case, I'm not going to visit art college because I have so many things to do in professional life. So fellowship may help someone to come up in her life. So literally gifted it to another person. And she got this fellowship this week. And after that, there was no looking like there were lots of projects coming in. Of course, there was, as I said earlier, there was like very limited resources way back in 1990. When I graduated from art college way back in 1995, we had very limited resources. There was no buyers. I found my first buyer in 2004, where a buyer directly picked a work of mine from the exhibition. That was the first time I sold my work. But that never pulled me down. There are no buyers, no one is buying my work. And that's right, India. Life goes on. They have to produce and keep. It is non-perishable item. It is not bhaji or butter or by evening it will perish. So tomorrow
Right.
it will become rancid or become stale. So anyhow I have to fish it down.
Yeah.
Nothing doing. But life goes on. That is the principle I always strongly believe in.
Mhm.
So I kept on producing art. There was a lot of projects coming in. So there was a little bit of money flowing in. Finally, you require money. And most of my thing I used to spend on either books and music cassettes. So that time we were using cassettes. Today, some new kid and listen there, what is this cassette? So it's a memory device, primitive memory device I would put it in a modern term. So most of my the thing I could spend it on books and on music. And I have to sell something for my art. Of course, I was that time fully supported by my family, by my parents, and gradually I was taking lots of projects. And one good thing we developed a very good habit when we were in college. On every Wednesday, or maybe not every Wednesday, actually once or twice a month, we used to visit Arjuna
Mhm.
because we were flea market,
Mhm.
and we used to do lots of watercolors and some basic Goan landscape rapid sketches. And then we used to go there and sell them. There were
Ah,
lots of buyers who would just pick a work of art. Very, very, uh, very
encouraging.
nominal, yeah, just to encourage yourself. And then that really developed a very good sense of selling art. But I never managed to sell art till 2004. In 2005, I sold my first work of art. Of course, there were lots of commercial projects coming in. But offhand, it was 2004. And from that period till 2009, 2010, it was a very good phase. Then the market collapsed. The share market or
Right.
whatever you call it.
Economic downturn.
That collapsed. There was no buyers. But still, I kept myself engaged in my studio. I used to take projects, some hotel projects, designing and executing murals. And there are lots of avenues which opened up uh, late 20th century or 21st century. Uh, Other between 2000 and 2010, lots of things. And the advent of internet
Mhm.
also provided very good platform for many artists. And now, since it is cyber age, okay, now this new generation are making the best of it. That's what the science and the technology has also.
Who was your inspiration when you began? Who is your inspiration now? Is it changed? Has it changed, or you are very fond of Salvador Dali?
Not very much, very much. He is
Surrealism.
my guru. Uh, yeah, certainly. And there's a very good story. I think I have narrated it to you, but still,
Yeah.
for the purpose of audience, I would narrate it. When we were in second year, uh, we had a very good teacher who really, I would say, shaped my thinking process, my thought process. His name is Theodore Mishkin.
Right. Right.
A very strict person, and that time even second year, we're a very bubbly teenager guys,
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and he had given us a very good assignment. You know, creative painting. What is creativity? We didn't know what. And he used to give the assignment, and he used to keep himself busy in library, going, avid reader. used to keep himself busy in library. And like this naughty kid, since our sir wasn't there, he never made the best of it. Used to visit canteen and make have hula all over. And during lunchtime, I realized that he's going to take the submission of the basic section. Now what to do? Now I have to find an escape route. Then straight to library. I just opened one library and randomly I picked one book. I just and again randomly opened the book and found one nice drawing. I straight away copied that. Without realizing what it was and what it is, nothing. Didn't even realize who the artist was. Kept the book in the cupboard. Much before Ted could enter the class, my drawing was ready. Just taking a very studious look at my face. And it's so
Yeah.
oh, it's a very beautiful sketch. I think I should really appreciate it more the time. Just wondering what I can. Are you flattering me or is serious? This remark. Yeah, yes. The entire GI really scratched my brain, and this is the output of it. Wow, you're not fit to be in second year class. You are almost in a contemporary art field. So what is it saying? Without trying to drop my mind, the back of my mind, the whole thing was just scared. But finally, I would draw literally stick the drawing from a book. So finally, he told me, the artist. I don't know who the artist is. This is who I created it. So now I should call you Vijay Dali. Dali. Who's Dali? What Dali? So what my cousin is Bhandare. No, from Freedom, I call you Dali. Another Dali in who really shaped the face of art in 20th century. Would be Salvador Dali. I said, okay, Salvador, I never heard of. Fine, you go to library again, and there's one book. Open that, and so and so. He was so particular about it. So and so page, you will find this drawing. And I was literally, was literally full of
Taken up.
sweat, literally trembling, and my my so-called honesty is shattered. So okay, I said, be very frank enough. I said, I didn't take things seriously. Uh, and I copied the drawing from them. But anyway, this is a very interesting artist, and he's the one who introduced me to Salvador Dali. And after that, then I did another sketch of mine, which was again, which was my interpretation of things. I went back to the library again in the evening, about 4:30, and removed the book from the cover. And this thing, I really went through the process. Who was Gali? Then I realized, wow, this guy is magnificent. This guy is the one who is going to change my perception of art. Then then Dali became what's called it
Your hero.
something who really yeah, my hero, the guardian angel, I would say. He is the one who really gave me good ideas. Initially, he inspired me a lot. Lot of inspiration from Dali. Because Dali is a genius. If I just reintroduce him, because he handled everything, right from painting to film to set designing to jewelry to name it, and he reinterpreted the world today. Be it mythology, be it theology, be it anything. He
Right.
also reprinted. He was more interested in science, and he reinterpreted the way things were innovated that time. The inventions, the modern inventions, the use
Right.
of photography, the use of light, the use of modern technology, weapon of mass destruction. So
Right.
he used lots of metaphor, lots of allegory in his art. And that is what really left an indelible impression in my mind, in a very different mind at that time, about Dali. That Dali is still an integral part of me in my journey. So again, apart from Dali, there are lots of Indian artists. I would say V.S. Gatonde, very old one, and F.N. Souza, then Murgaonkar, Dalal, then Vikas Bhattacharya, another artist whom I really admired. Vikas Bhattacharya, where I could really use lots of figurative art, more representational art, yet use lots of allegory things. And then apart from this, then Renaissance masters also like Leonardo, Michelangelo, then Raphael, Sanzo Raphael, Botticelli, then Tintoretto, Rubens. Basically, all this Baroque and Caravaggio, Rembrandt, they left very good impression on me in terms of studying humans because the portraiture basically. And they are approached in understanding ways. And modernism and impressionist, post-impressionist, then romanticism, the modernist, also played a very important role in shaping my vision as an artist.
Yeah, you can see that impression in your paintings. In fact, you are a very good portrait painter, of course, which requires a lot of realistic skills, and that shows that you are having a mastery over that. But your creative works, I believe, are a combination of all these things because your creative works are not just line works; so they are also having some realistic figures in between, and they are mystical. They are mystical. You can say they are. You can see a mixture of Miro to a certain extent. I'm talking
Very
about
much,
part of it,
very much.
and Dali,
That's
which is
correct.
of course your hero. So how you have not just been an active person as far as drawing or painting is concerned, but you have also been involved in organizing exhibitions. You've organized some of the important exhibitions in Goa as well as ones that were organized in Goa and taken out uh, outside Goa. So tell us something about your organizational interest and getting people together.
Uh, Yeah, I always, even though artists prefer working in solitude, apart from that, I always like to be in company of friends. My very simple thing: grow and let grow. You should grow together. Uh, uh, what inspired me more is the culmination of Bombay Art Society. Many artists, even though they are, popular here, they came together, they formed a group called Bombay Art Society.
Mm.
Sorry, a progressive artist.
Progressive artist group. Progressive artist.
Progressive artist. Yeah, before the liberation. And then it was a challenge to Bengal School of Art, which was again speaking to the roots of our Indian roots of depicting things. And these guys were influenced again by the modernists, the modern art vis-a-vis Western world. So, in order to have something concrete, which I always wanted to happen in Goa, that we should have a group here of artists who are working, which are like-minded, which are working, even though their expressions are independent, yet their ideology is common, serving a common purpose that is art. And gradually, that we would expand. And later, I started with very small groups, and one of the first curatorial things, and which was again done with your mighty help, and Ravindra Bhavan, the artist camp of India artist, way back in 2009 or so.
Mm.
We both collaborated and did the art.
Right. Right.
So that was my first this collaborative
Attempt.
Time to get the role artists together. And apart from that, I organize sketching token sketching camp, not camp, retreat to various locations of Goa. Then I had a group shows. curated in Goa, and co-curated in Delhi. And that is how there were lots of other things also. I managed to organize for one artist. Yeah. So apart from that, uh, I organized art talks also by fellow artists, which wasn't though didn't speak really well. But again, due to lack of market, there were no, we could not find a good sponsor. Well, of course, there are lots of expenditure involved in getting the seats in place. But we could not find, so that is how we have to keep all this activity on back burner at the moment. The moment tomorrow if market picks up,
Yeah.
then we'll be falling back
Right.
in getting the thing.
Okay. And how do you think as an artist, artists are usually very philosophical, and people like you who are who are more into sort of, I would call you all intellectual artists. You all are not artists because you can paint, but you are an artist because you can think. Of course, there's nothing like people who can paint also are really good, but they are craft people basically, and people who can think and paint are basically artists or fine artists. That's the difference there. So you are a fine artist in particular. So how do you see yourself now moving away from art? How do you see yourself as an artist? Do you think you are doing something? Do you think of some higher force guiding you? Do you think there is something beyond practical life that guides us or does something for us? I mean, being very straight, do you believe in God?
Very much. I'm a very religious person, and I'm really honored and privileged to be born in India, the country who has got vast history, vast civilization. When most of the world were, apart from few
Civilization.
civilizations like Greek and Mesopotamian, the mighty countries in today's 21st century countries were the hunter-gatherers. That time we had universities and giant structures built in India. And I belong to that place. I'm really proud of it. Proud of my roots and proud of my country. And of course, I do believe in God. And most of my art, I do have a guardian angel who guides me in my process of art, who really tells me what to do. And according to his instructions, I do it. There's a lot of cosmic energy which is channelized through me. I'm just a medium. And it is the cosmic energy which takes shape. That invisible energy becomes visible through my art. And that is how I channelize it into a mode of expression in various forms.
Sort of, you have experienced it unknowingly.
Yes. But even though I make a conscious attempt to draw something, subconsciously it enters in and it takes my. Sometimes I really don't know. Even when I was reading Gustav, Carl Gustav Jung, or Sigmund Freud. So I prefer, even though Sigmund Freud really helped me in my thought process, my college days. But it is Carl Gustav Jung, who happened to be an escape, really showed me a path. You know, Carl Gustav Jung always had a guardian angel. He used to call, his name was Philemon. And that is how that angel used to guide Carl Gustav, in all his studies, in all his life. So if Carl Gustav Jung can have it, why can't we have it? Finally, we are born out of same birth. We are having same DNA as human beings.
Right.
We are part of that same cosmic being. From that whatever planet we are visitors here, or we are born out of evolution,
Right.
or keeping Darwin's philosophy aside, or Darwin's theory aside. But whatever we call it, but we share a common DNA, the common point of a connector which connects everything to one particular cord. And that is how the cosmic energy is circulated among us. Only thing we should learn to channelize all our blessed actually. The only thing we don't realize that we are blessed.
Right.
Some try to seek blessing from external sources. Some try to find it within himself also. Some some try to find a solace in giving,
Right.
dan, what we call it in India.
Right.
So they find pleasure in that. So I find pleasure in both, in dan as well as a kind of dan to art. Whether it is a small drawing or it's a huge, massive canvas thing, it doesn't matter. Finally, it is what you're contributing, what is your energy level while painting that. Whether you were selfish at that particular time or you just let yourself go.
Right. Right. Okay. Vijay, you have spoken about Carl Jung and all this sort of thing, and Carl Jung is more of the theory of synchronicity. It's something also to do with something is happening here, which is also happening somewhere else, sort of that sort of thing. You're just talking about the whole idea of somebody telling you or guiding you. Again, the same thing, I believe. So, how do you see spirituality and art connected? How do you see? Do you think everyone is spiritually connected, even if they don't believe in it? What is your take on it?
Yes, yeah, they are. All are spiritual beings. And then we don't realize it. The moment we realize that we are guided by a spiritual being, the whole world be a monastery, an ashram, where you can seek peace. That is the basic idea behind all this. So the problem is in today's world, someone has nicely said, in today's world we have highly guided missiles, but unguided man. Yeah, so that is what has happened. You know, we have got today we have designed missiles which can target we can destroy the target at at high precision. But human beings are unguided. There's so much frustration. There's so much bottled up feeling which they can't sublimate somewhere. So finally they choose a wrong path. Instead of all these, when they realize, you know, few years back when I was going to a nice book, a small story, a small anecdote. An ancient ashram, which was known for its for producing some scholars, was going through a very bad phase. The disciples started leaving the guru, and there was lots of misery falling on them. So one of the sannyasis there visited a monk in Himalaya, a sadhu. So sadhu questioned him, what happened? He said, I belong to so monastery, and I don't know how to convince my fellow mates. They are leaving the ashram. There's lots of violence there. So the ashram is almost in a very dilapidated condition. So how to convince them? So don't do anything. Just tell them one of you is a saint. So he said, okay. So he came back to the ashram and told all the inmates that one of you is going to be a saint. Then it was a huge question. Who is going to be a saint? So everyone started feeling that he is a saint. So again, the glory started coming back to that ashram, and it started very very vibrating note. So that is how things happen. When we realize that we all are spiritual beings. We all belong to one particular source of energy. Let's call it in different name. Fine. So, we have given that particular infinite energy a finite form, energy which is needed. So, in order to fly, you cannot take a Bugatti car or a Lamborghini and drive it at a very high speed. It won't fly. Okay. To fly, you require a particular shape. Even a paper aeroplane in that particular shape, even if you push it across, it will fly even for a couple of seconds and then it will fall off. So shape plays a very important function here. So that is how the concept of God is, the finite form of God. So that is how it's a kind of threshold. The finite form, what we have given to infinite idea, infinite energy. So that form has got a function. It acts as a threshold to find the infinite. So my art also works in the same sense. It is a doorway. Through my art, you find the infinite. So human being is one of the best creations. I remember one among of Cortalim, so where he said, "Vriksha Vandi Prani Ama Soyeri," and he also said that आनंदाचे अंग आनंद तरंग आनंदाचे अंग आनंद तरंग. So that is how it's a very lengthy.
Yeah.
So God chose to give intelligence only to humans, thinking that the whole creation, all of his creation will prosper under his guidance. But things are not happening the same way. So again, the virus is came.
That's
Just to teach us, be humble, you are nowhere.
That's true.
That is how the creation works. The final is everything is creation. Finally, we have to see. Today we are more worried about COVID-19, which is wiping off world population at a very minuscule level, I would say. Just recreate a scenario where during the time of dinosaurs, when an asteroid or a meteor uh, separated from its fly path and collided, was when a collision force with Earth and almost collided.
Right.
And that wiped out dinosaurs.
That's
The same thing may God forbid, the same thing has to happen today.
right.
Half of world population is finished in a split of a second.
That's
Now, who are we going to blame? Are we going to blame the countries? Are we going to blame the scientists? Or are we going to people who eat the bat and the rat and the cockroaches? We can't do that. We cannot blame anyone today.
That's
Finally, it is our own karma which is getting deviated towards our own self today.
That's true.
So it is one night. So you sow, so you reap.
Right.
Same thing. We cut trees, we destroy forests, we destroy habitats for our fellow beings. What we are doing today?
Right.
We're creating misery for ourselves. Live and let live. Let others live. We require development. Development at the cost, we call it sustainable development. Not at the cost of anyone's life. We are nowhere, we are not supposed to kill anyone for our greed. You may kill, you may, for you need, okay, if you are a non-vegetarian, for your need, you are hungry, you have to survive. Okay, kill someone, you just to, hello.
Sustain.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. I can. Carry on.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Okay. Just to sustain yourself. But today what has happened? We are killing for grace. We're killing for grace, for our own grace. What we are trying to prove today? We are supreme. This mighty small virus, I would call it mighty invisible virus.
That's true.
Has really shattered us totally.
That's true. One of my friend recently, beautifully he put it. And if he probably could see the virus, we would be like we keep on hitting out at mosquitoes. We would be hitting out at the virus. But the virus is so shrewd that we cannot see.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
But in today's world, we are worried about COVID. But in today's world, mosquitoes are the one who kills the maximum.
That's true.
But we are not worried about mosquitoes.
We are used to it now.
They are still the leading source of human.
That's
Yeah.
I was supposed to ask you about COVID whilst going flying off,
Yeah.
but you answered without me asking you. I would ask you two more questions before we end up.
Yes.
who is your inspiration in life, not as an artist, just as a human being, before signing off?
Nature.
That's great.
Yes, nature.
You are like
And
the,
finally, if I say human beings are my inspiration, finally human beings are part of nature.
that's
So we have to see it in totality today. Each kind of plant inspires me, a bird inspires me. It is everything. Even COVID inspires me.
Hmm. You have done.
The COVID virus, the coronavirus.
Can you show that painting if you are having it right here with
Uh,
some 1918 or somewhere you have done one painting on that.
yes, yes, yes. I just find the.
Yeah, no issues.
Yeah.
With the
Yes.
mask, man with the mask. Oh wow,
Yes,
that's it.
man
Yeah.
with mask.
Wow, that's
So
beautiful.
this is the drawing.
Beautiful.
This was somewhere in 17th century.
Hmm.
Spanish flu they called it, or even the Black Death.
Okay.
So it is bubonic. It was a plague, a pandemic in Europe, Italy, or Spain.
Okay.
Of course, it crossed the borders that time. So doctors, of course, that time they were ill-equipped.
Hmm.
But whatever little knowledge they had, they managed to save many lives.
Oh.
But finally, even doctors perished when they treated the infection themselves.
Oh.
So what they used to do, they designed a very good contraption.
Mm-hmm.
It had a shape which is similar to bird's beak,
Okay.
and they would put lots of herbs inside that so that the pathogen gets killed
Okay.
when they come in contact with the herb.
Okay.
So it was a kind of what you call that
Mask.
kind of PPE in today's term.
Yeah.
Personal protective equipment
Yeah.
of 17th century. It had lots of layers inside. The outer jacket was made up of very thick animal hide. Then they wore their jackets and other things just to protect themselves. But at the end of the day, most of the doctors died, the physicians that time, died contracting the infection.
Okay.
And so unfortunately, even in 21st century, we are experiencing the same thing. Some top doctors died were treating COVID thing. So where our technology, of course, we have made lots of progress in terms of technology in today's world. That has really reduced the fatality, the casualties, COVID casualties.
Yeah.
Thanks to all our medical team, the technology and the medicine hand in hand. They have really saved lots of life. God bless them, and the doctor and the paramedics and the law enforcing agencies in that manner. That really helped us saving human lives today. But still, the aftermath of pandemic is taking its toll. So where do we exit? Okay. So we are nowhere in the big triangle. The other day I was just going through one nice documentary. Where are we? It was on social media, Facebook, by one of the astronomy pages which I have subscribed. This is they showed a very nice graph in the entire universe. Milky Way is just a point.
Oh.
Then they further reduced it to solar system. Then Earth is just a point. Then again it scaled down to a certain thing. Then our globe is, our country is just one small point. And finally, where is our existence? It is not even a microscopic point somewhere.
Right.
Yet we have so much ego and we are supreme. Where are we going? It's time to be humble. And this COVID has taught us to be humble. It's nowhere and nothing, not your position. I don't care for your position. I don't care for your elite lifestyle, how affluent you are or who you are. If I attack you as a human being, irrespective of whether you have done good or you have done bad. Finally, your karma somewhere helps you, but it is impartial. It doesn't.
Collective destiny.
It doesn't care whether you belong to high class or you're low class, or whether you are rich, you are famous, or you are poor, or you are marginal, you are this or that. Your attack is attack means you attack.
Yeah,
And if you are destined to die, you are going to die. It doesn't matter how bad
that's
facilities you have at hand. Doesn't matter. So time to be very humble, and that is the philosophy I always believed in: be humble.
yeah. You are
Your
humble.
roots, your roots has to be
Grounded. You're grounded.
grounded, grounded. It's like a banyan tree. Banyan tree teaches us lots of things.
Yeah,
Conquer the sky, expand, but still that you are rooted.
yeah. That's true.
That is another inspiration.
That's
Of course, finally I said
nature.
nature.
Nature. Yeah, yeah,
Nature. That's the ultimate teacher.
yeah.
You
In
learn
fact, in
many
fact,
things from nature
in fact, since you said
and
nature, I believe one of the pantheon of Hindu gods, the Sanatan Dharma gods,
yes,
there's a god which is named as Sri Datta Maharaj. I think he
very
is
much. Yeah,
inspiration to
strong,
you
strong
as well,
follower of that.
because he said that he has number of gurus, and all those most of those gurus were not human beings; they were ants and so on and so forth. If you read
Yes,
something called Guru Charitra, you will be able to know from
Guru
there.
Charitra.
Yeah, so it talks about nature, and it resonates with what you are saying. I think you also a great bhakt of Datta Maharaj. I know. So
Very much. Yes.
got into you. While signing off, I would like to ask you and would like to request you to say something for everyone as an artist, young artist, as well as all the other people who are watching, something about how we have to live as an artist, and for young artists as well as to how you can make your career. Advice.
See, there are ups and downs in everyone's life. And someone has nicely said, artist faces more rejection than any other profession in life. Don't give up. Don't give up. When we were kids, when we put in our first step to walk, we made our first futile attempt to walk. There are many times we stumbled, but that doesn't deter us from giving up. Finally, we managed to walk, and from that we started running and taking the world in our stride. So don't give up. That is the basic thing. Finally, and say that your creation is original. You get inspiration from others, but finally the output should be your own. Don't copy. Doesn't matter. You may get recognition, you may not get recognition. That is not everything in today's world. Recognition comes later. Most of these top artists in today's world, even in 21st century or 20th century, were recognized much later in their life. But um, they were so determined with their work. It was part of their life. It was the inherent part of their system, art. And they lived for art. They died for art. That is the whole thing one should stick to. And believe in yourself. You are the ultimate. You are the ultimate creator. And you are the creation of a creator, the supreme creator.
That's
That is one thing you should believe in. And you are creating as a medium of the supreme creator. So
absolutely.
that's another creator who is using your body to pass on another creation. So finally, it's a creation. So whatever you create, doesn't matter. It's a reflection of the time you live in, or it's a reflection of your own thing. Maybe it is a reflection of your past life or life to come, a shape of things yet to come. But whatever it is reflection of the Supreme Creator. And you are His creation and you are creating on His behalf. And believe in yourself. And that is what will take you much ahead of what you think can be achieved in art. There are numerous possibilities in today's world. There are lots of avenues open. Make the best of it.
Thank you very much, Vijay. It was very inspiring talking to you. In fact, your spiritual interest, your artistic interest, your medicine interest in medicine, interest in other things. I think this is a very rare person who is not just an artist because he can paint, but he's an artist because he can think. And you are also a voracious reader, I know. That has also inspired you. And you are a very lively person. Being with you is very interesting physically as well. But right
Thank
now
you.
we are locked down, so we are having virtual talk.
Virtual, yes.
Yeah, so virtual meeting, and that too after a long time, I suppose. uh, it was
Yeah, yeah, pretty
inspiring.
long time.
I'm sure most of my viewers who are watching me are have got inspired by Vijay's talk, must have understood what he's trying to say, because it's very very lucid, very simple, very straight. There's nothing, there's no hanky panky, there's no double aspects to what he's talking. And I believe what he speaks, if you can pick it up, probably not subscribe, but buy at least in initially, keep it with you, and in due course of time, if you can subscribe to what he's trying to say, you will really, it will make a big difference in your art and in your life as well, because he's a very humble person. In this very difficult phase, we have done this talk, which is called lockdown series. This is an inaugural one. I request all my Indian citizens, as well as Indian brothers and sisters, as well as Goans, that kindly see and remain safe. Be at home as much as possible. Try to see that once you come from outside, you wash your hands and legs, because there are your family members, your loved ones at home, probably your elders, your parents, your uncles, your nephew, your niece, your sisters, your wife, your brothers, everyone. We have to see that they are safe. So once we come from outside, we have to wash our hands and legs. We have also to see that we don't necessarily get in touch with somebody whom we don't know. We unnecessarily don't come in physical contact with somebody whom we don't know. When we buy something, when we come home, see that we wash all that items, so that we keep our family members safe. And we also, most important, I'll just demonstrate. Uh, Wear a mask, which is very important when we move out, because we don't know whom we are speaking to. It's not that somebody who is having COVID or somebody who is having coronavirus is bad. It's just that we shouldn't spread it out, so that we don't wipe out the whole humanity, as Vijay said. And because we have to live and live for to do something good for the society, each one has to live. Our elders have to live. Our younger generation also has to live. Of course, we have to live. There's no doubt about that. On that note, I would request all my viewers to remain safe, remain as much as possible inside the house, and enjoy this video, this talk which I had with Vijay Banari, a very effervescent person whom I love very much. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. Let us see when we meet next time with another of my friend. Thank you. Thank you very much.